we also have to think about how do we name molecular compounds. So nice, simple molecular compounds, only containing a couple things. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. So rules, we got doesn't have an anion or cation because there's no metals. In fact, it only contains nonmetals. The other thing that I do want you guys to remember is that it does not conduct. There are no freely moving ions. There's not one electron leaving and being passed to something else. Remember, these are the things that we consider insulators, the things that do not conduct electricity because the electrons like to stay firmly in place. They like to stay within their bubbles. So when we think about naming these, we have to name them slightly different so we can identify them. So the rules are simple. The first element's name as is, the second element IDE. Same as we've been doing for a while with the other stuff too. But if there's more than one of them, we're going to use a prefix. So mono is 1, di is 2, tri is 3, tetra is 4, penta 5, hexa 6, hepta 7, octa 8, nona 9, deca 10. We'll give you the prefixes and what they mean, but I think mono, di, and tri are definitely ones that we've used enough times where we're pretty familiar with them. Now, let's just take a quick peek and look at this. So dinitrogen. I'm telling you, there's nitrogen, and there's 2 of them. Tetraoxide. So I look over, tetra is 4, and it's oxide, so it's 2, N2O4, right? So tetra meaning 4, right? We got boron trichloride. So I have boron, and it's trichloride, so it's Cl3. Now let's look at NO. So I have nitrogen. You don't put mono in this case with nitrogen. It's just out in front. So it's nitrogen, and the other part is monoxide. So if mono is the first one that starts it off, we just hack it off, and it's nitrogen. And then we have, over here, we have 2. So we have di. It's chlorine, dichloride. Dichlorine. And 7 is hepta. So it's heptoxide. And that's all we're doing. We're just applying those rules. We're just saying how many they are by using the prefix. So keeping it nice and simple. So as long as we can recognize that it's a molecular compound, and we can say that there's how many of something in it, we can use these prefixes to just say it. So we can keep it nice and simple. But the key is we have to be able to identify them. You have to see that there is no charge. You have to see that there is no metal. You have to see that there's no cation and anion. You have to see that it's an insulator. You have to see that the electrons don't move. And then once you know all of those things, you can say, that is a molecular compound. It does not have a metal. It does not have an anion or a cation. All I have to do is say how many there are. And if it's mono, we don't put mono up front. And then other than that, I'm just using those prefixes to say the amount. Put an IDE at the end of the second word, right? So that's all we got to do. So molecular compound naming is pretty simple. So let's keep it that way. Don't try to confuse it and complicate it. Let's just make sure that we're identifying them and being able to just say how many of each there are. Okay, thank you.